So this is the setup for 1878 Vikings, the invasions of England. And this is using the similar system as the Birth of America series. So we have the treaty board, these yellow unit here is kind of a militia unit for the Anglo-Saxons players, but they don't move. They come in by the cards. How many units come out for defense? And then you have the two Anglo-Saxon players, and then you have the Viking player here and here, and then the big difference between the games is the leaders for the Vikings that will come in and invade, and the Anglo-Saxons have one leader, Alfred, who comes in at round 5, and he will bring in an army as a leader. And also the treaty doesn't take in effect until much later than the other games, which were basically the first 2 rounds were free, couldn't end, and then the treaty will end the game after the 3rd round if one side played their treaty. Here you have the treaty that will end the game, but also if they have sudden death victory conditions, which is very different from the others. And just to review that one, yeah. If there's 14 markers, these control markers, or more on the city shires, these guys right here, the Viking wins automatically. If there's no Viking control markers of the map at the end of any round, the English win. So unlike the previous games, this game can end immediately. And another kind of interesting mechanic they have here is you only use 12 cards, and in the advanced game they bring in these extra cards to mix in to add more flavor and replayability to the game. The difference is the games uses plastic figures instead of little cubes. But other the mechanics are basically the same. Of the cards gives the how many armies and how much they can move, and then they have event cards. And so the leaders are different, and added to this, and then the card play. There's a couple of expansions, but we're just going to play the base game here. And so that's the setup. Everything's calm and collected here in England, and then the good old Norse are going to come in and ruin the party. So this is after the first round. So we have that turn order. The Vikings came in here right into East Anglia, kind of just plowed in and took all these victory point hexes, and the English kind of both sides trying to get reinforcements out, kind of bolster the defense, and didn't really do any battles. And we'll see what happens in the round. This is the end of round 2. That was the turn order. the Viking leader landed in up here in north, took those two important two victory hexes. The English built up forces here on their turn, but they retook here, London, basically, after a fight, but they tried to take this spot with the leader here, and got decimated on the first roll. 2 rolls, basically. Got completely wiped out. Huge force, and that came over from Winchester. And that didn't go too well for the English. So they were able to take 1 back for the 2 that were taken in the north. And, oh, the Berserkers have played their treaty card. So, as that will be checked after round 5 or later. And on to the 3rd. So this is the end of round 3. There's the turn order there. Up here in the north, the Vikings held on to these, basically took over both, all 4 of the victory conditions, but Ivan, the boneless army, is down to 3 guys, which is Bjorn Ironsides is decent enough. He's down here in the south, but Alfred the Great, he's out. He was taken out down here in the south, Essex area, and Kent has been retaken, but they're kind of, with that massive force here with Bjorn, you can really push into the south here, and this next round we'll get another leader in here. Noticing that the English is so spread out, they can't really concentrate their forces all that quickly unless you get moved quite well, with these leaders just steamrolling through, but they do get spread out and whittled down by maintaining forces guarding. So we'll see how the next rounds go. So this is the end of round 4. That was the turn order. This turn did not go well for the Vikings. They tried to attack Litchfield here and lost. Good lucky rolls for the English, took them out. And then they tried to move down here into London and were also defeated. And all 3 of their leaders are out, because this last turn they got a reinforcement card, but no leader. So this turn probably getting a leader, but the English will get Alfred coming out. So the English have both their treaties out. The Norsemen are the only ones that hasn't. And so we'll have to see how that goes, because if they play it next turn, it could end the game. So on to turn 5. And so this is the end of round 5 and game. So the Vikings had both their moves first, and then it was the English to counterattack on the last moves with Alfred. Probably could have gotten an extra zone, but I didn't. And since they played their treaty, the Viking side, it didn't really matter because the English already played theirs. So the game ended with them only controlling 6 of the zones. Compared to the Birth America ones, this one's, has similar tactics, but it's quite more fluid. And with the leaders, more back and forth, and kind of that kind of risk style where you have a big, large force and you try to go hell bent all at once with it, trying to take as many areas as you can, but you lose through attrition and try to keep things guarded. So it's pretty lucky for some things, a bit more iffy with the leaders kind of coming in anywhere along the coastlines, like down here, and just kind of running up through Essex or Wessex and causing havoc, and then also kind of taking the northern half over, because most of the reinforcements are down here for the English, and so it kind of slows the pace up there on the north. But it's a fun, quick game, a little more extra chrome than the Birth America ones, give it a different flavor, and the Vikings are pretty powerful as a force in battle, so yeah, but nice, fun, kind of a nice difference from the Birth America series. And that's 1878 Vikings.